All right, it's time to discuss the season finale of Chucky, episode 8, called An Affair to Remember. And at the very end of this discussion, I will do a quick ranking of each episode, worst to best. And I liked all of them. There was one episode I was very meh on, but the rest I liked to really liked. This one starts with Andy at the house of Junior and goes inside and starts looking around for Chucky. And there's multiple moments where you think Chucky's about to come out at any moment and start attacking him. But then by the end, he never does. And Junior's like, well, why didn't you attack him? He's like, he had a gun. I wasn't going to attack him. He had a gun. I hate guns. I like that he was hidden in the toilet too. And he was like, I knew he would never look for me in here. And then he starts to call back to every way he ever died. And when he mentions how he died in Child's Play 3, he starts like shuddering, like, ugh, industrial sized fans. They're the worst. Then the Billy Good Guy doll has like a shining moment, says, here's Chucky, which reminded me of Seed of Chucky when he breaks through the door at the hospital, but he doesn't say anything. He's like, I can't think of a thing to say. But then his face just gets shot off. Like a big chunk of his head just gets blown off by Kyle, who's not even inside the house. She shoots through the window. Like she's a fucking marksman. She's a great aim. Shoots him right in the face, comes in and starts shooting him more. Kyle's a badass. Oh, and she's dressed just like how she was in Child's Play 2 with that hat and the glasses, and maybe even a similar necklace. Like she's dressing up just like how she did over 30 years ago, just for fan service. And then they go into the new voodoo spell about how why Chucky's been doing what he's been doing. He's been trying to get all these different people to try to kill, because if he can do that, this new voodoo curse can allow him to possess hundreds of dolls, or in this case 72 for some reason. Kyle drugs the kids to protect them and heads over to where Devin is tied up, and I love hearing the conversation between all the dolls, or like asking questions to Chucky, like, well, what's the age limit? Like, how old or young, can we kill? And he's like, well, no babies. We're not savages. He's like, well, define baby. Like when they start walking, they become a little wily. Like, can we kill the ones that can walk? Like, what's the age limit? He's like, how about 5 or 6? Chucky tells Tiffany to kill Nika, and she won't because she prefers Nika over Chucky. Then he tells Junior to kill Nika, some woman he doesn't even know. And it seems like he's about to do it at first, but why isn't he questioning the fact that this woman that's associated with Chucky is the same woman who came up and kissed his father? Like, shouldn't it all like start connecting right then and there? Like, wait a minute. So you knew Chucky this whole time, and so you set this all up? Like, you got me pissed so I would kill my dad? Like, he should start piecing it together right then and there. So then Tiffany, she cuts off Chucky's head slowly. She slices it off. It's just hanging by a thread. Then she finishes him off, and she tells him, like, holding his severed head, like, I'm the one who called the cops on you in 1988. I'm the reason why you got shot, and the reason why you're in this freaking situation. If it weren't for me, you would never have became a good guy doll, which completely retcons everything that Part 6, Curse of Chucky, ever set up. In Curse of Chucky, it was the woman who he, kidnapped and was, the pregnant lady that he took, Nika's mom. Like, in that movie, it was her who one day called the cops. And so now in this one, it's saying that no, it was Tiffany who called the cops. Like, that kind of bugged me. Like, they should have. I was expecting at any moment for them to do a flashback where he met Nika's mom, but they never tie that shit into this story. So that just really bugged me. But I liked the callback to the line in part 1 where after this is all revealed to him, he's like, I'm gonna get you no matter what he said to Mike Norris in the original Child's Play. Tiffany somehow sets up all these bombs that are triggered by like this laser, like at the door. If they open the door, the laser will set off the bomb. And Andy goes there, saves Devin, and Kyle opens the front door, and the whole place blows up. And you don't know at first who died exactly. There's a report in the paper that there was fatalities, But then by the end, you see that Andy's still alive, but where's Kyle? Did Kyle really die? At the end, Chucky does like a kill count thing, and he says that there was an explosion kill. So he has to be referring to Kyle, right? Or is he just referring to some good guy doll that got left behind? I'm not sure. I hope Kyle's not dead. I figured that Jennifer Tilly was more than likely going to be the celebrity guest appearance at the charity event. And they're playing Frankenstein, and this is when it gets ridiculous. I did laugh, though. I thought it was funny that Chucky was laughing at the movie when Frankenstein picked up the little girl and threw her in the water. He's like, "This is my favorite part." And he starts laughing, and the guy next to him doesn't know where the laugh's coming from. Like, bullshit. And, like, the fact that no one can see Chucky during this entire franchise and this TV series is ridiculous. But he stabs the dad of Caroline in the ass, and he's just sitting there dead or half dead and starts drooling blood into the popcorn, and the wife's just eating it thinking like it's probably just butter, but then she tastes the blood, freaks out, and gets trampled, and everyone's just flipping the fuck out, and Chucky's crawling around stabbing everybody in the ass, and they like drop dead instantly. Bullshit. Like, how is that killing anybody, especially right away like that? Meanwhile, the daughter is just focused on the movie 100%. She doesn't even realize that everyone's flipping the fuck out, running around her, popcorn flying everywhere, everyone's screaming. She's just like looking at the movie. Like, something's wrong with this kid. If she's not a killer in season 2, I'll be surprised. Like, this girl looks like she's going to be the next Charles Lee Ray at some point. She seems like a psycho. I like that Chucky finally explains how he's so strong in all these movies, because you always wonder when he's grabbing people and they're like somehow struggling to get him off. Like, he's a little doll. And finally he gives us an explanation. He's like, it's the power of the mighty Dumbala. So that's how I'm so strong. Then Junior and Chucky stab each other in the heart. He wouldn't go through with it. He wouldn't kill Lexi. And so he goes to kill Chucky, and they just stab each other in the hearts. So that's the end of Junior. And then Jake starts strangling Chucky, and he says something to him, and then Chucky replies back like, "Oh, that's so gay." That was the best laugh of this episode. And he just strangles him, and his eyeballs pop out of his skull. It's over the top, ridiculous. And so then Andy steals the truck of all the dolls, all 71 of them, and somehow Tiffany and the other dolls in the back never noticed him hiding back there. Like, he knocks out the guy, he takes the truck. Like, you would think that Tiffany would have, the Tiffany doll, we finally see the Tiffany doll. The Tiffany doll's been in the back with a gun. You think she would have, tried to stop him a lot sooner or something. But he flips off Tiffany, the person, the human version, and that's the first time they've ever actually seen each other, really. Like, when he's flipping her off, that's the first time that these two characters have seen each other. Before this, they've only heard each other over the phone in Cult of Chucky. So, yeah, Tiffany has him at gunpoint and tells him to drive off somewhere. He's supposed to go to, like, the airport, and they're going to send all these dolls to, like, over 70 different families with sick children. So I'm curious to see if they're going to go through with that idea in season 2, if there's just going to be like dolls across America with sick kids. Then we see that Tiffany has taken Nika and removed all her limbs. So she was already paralyzed before. Now she can't even move her arms. Her arms are gone. Her legs are gone. They were already useless before, so I'm not sure why she did that, because when she's not Chucky, she can't, well, I guess Chucky's still a part of her, so that's why she removed the legs, so that when Chucky took control, he couldn't move, so that makes sense. And she took her arms as well. Pretty fucked up. And so we find out that Miss F is no longer arrested. She's been released. Makes sense with all the people dying with her at the prison still, so they had to release her because she's innocent. And then, yeah, so it's like, what happened to Kyle. Like, there's some things left open, and hopefully we'll get some answers in season 2. And it's been confirmed there is going to be a season 2. But yeah, like, is Kyle alive? Is she really dead? They're at the cemetery. Jake, Lexi, and Devin visiting Junior and his dad and uncle, and we just see this leather glove hand hit the tree, and it looks like the leather glove that Kyle was wearing before, like when they're at the gas station earlier in the episode. Andy and Kyle buy leather gloves. So is that Kyle or is it Andy? Like, I don't know, but hopefully it's Kyle. I hope she's not dead. That'd be a weird way for such a legacy character like that to go, just to have her blow up off camera. Like, no, like, she deserves better than that. So I hope she's still alive. And unfortunately, by the end of this season, the mayor is still alive. I wanted her dead. Poor Nathan gets killed instead. And the daughter, Caroline's a little brat. I wouldn't mind seeing her die. You know, she's a little Chucky in the making. Like, I can see her becoming a killer. And Lexi, I still don't like her. Like, they don't do enough for me to get back on, to get on board with her character at all. Like, you're never on board with her character. At least I'm not. You know, they make her such an evil bitch in the first, 4 episodes that it's like the damage is done. There's no there's no going back. I just never cared for her character. Like, if she died in episode 8, I would have been like, good for her, because I'm not convinced that she's a changed person by the end of it. Like, they try to give her that arc where, you know, maybe she's a better person now for her. She's learned the error of her ways, and she's not going to be a bully anymore. But still, fuck her. So overall, I liked it. It was a decent finale. It's got me a little excited for what's to come. I hope that Kyle's still alive. I'm glad Andy's still alive. And I'm glad finally that Tiffany doll was brought back into the equation and we see her. I liked all the nods and callbacks throughout all the episodes. And, you know, the kills were fine. They weren't really as gory as I would have liked. But overall, this episode, episode 8, I will give this one 3.5 out of 5 stars. And now let's do a very quick ranking. I'm not going to talk about each episode again. So from worst to best, my number 8 will be episode 5. Next up will be episode 7. So 7 is episode 7. It's number 6 will be episode 1. Number 5 will be episode 8. Number 4, episode 3. Number 3, episode 4. Number 2, episode 2. And number 1, episode 6. And the middle could have been interchangeable. I had a lot of 3 out of 5. So, like, my number 3 and 4 and 5, especially 3 and 4, kind of went back and forth on. But episode 6 was definitely the standout for me. It's the one that introduced Kyle and Andy, and because they weren't really present at all in the first 5 episodes. So 6 definitely was the best one for me. And then episode 2, the Hello Kitty Chucky, was pretty fun, and the Halloween theme of the episode. So yeah, that's my ranking, worst to best. What's your ranking? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you like what you've seen here, you can hit this like button and become a subscriber today just by clicking on my cartoon face in a few seconds. And remember, it's all an opinion. You don't need to get butthurt about it.